Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
On your screen, you see the Beast of Eloo. This craft will let Jebediah Kerman to get to Eloo, get some science, and go back. And it is not Jebediah, it is actually Bill. But that doesn't matter. Why are we going to Eloo? Well, we never been there, we never went so far, and even though we already done all the science, we still can do more science. Because science in school. So, let us begin. Eloo is the last planet in the Kerbal system, and it requires some patience to get to, simply because the round flight takes approximately 3 years or something close to that number. And we are very close to our orbit. All we have to do now is coast to the apoapsis and circularize. After that, we are going to create our maneuver node for Eloo injection orbit and proceed with the burn. And here we are. Our maneuver node is ready. But because we are going to use a bunch of nuclear engines with very low thrust, we're not going to burn in one continuous burn, we're going to do it in many little increments. Our first part is going to be using the last fuel in our ascent stage, because we hate to waste it. Now we can separate it and go with our nuclear burns. Burns will happen for 1 minute before and after periapsis to make sure that we use Oberth effect as much as we can. And here we go. And it looks like our first burn is going to take us outside of sphere of influence of Kerbin. That is good. Although we are not going to use our delta V the most efficient way, we got more than enough. Okay, we are leaving the sphere of influence of Kerbin. And here is our second maneuver node in the orbit around the Sun that will bring our apoapsis to the orbit of Eloo and create our encounter. The burn itself will take quite some time, and then coasting will take even more time, so I'm going to cut most of it to make sure that we are not bored and not wasting time by looking at the black screen for, I don't know, 15 minutes? So our encounter is ready, and after a lot of time warping and a mild course correction, here we are in the sphere of influence of Eloo. Let's do our high orbit science, and let's take Bill on EVA to grab all the science and bring it back into the capsule. For some reason, the ship decided to respond to controls while Bill is on EVA. I have no idea how and why it happened, but basically when I pressed left, the ship would turn left, in addition to Bill flying left. That made going back a little bit challenging, but we still managed. So, all we have to do now is circularize and try to land. Let's time warp to periapsis and do the circularization burn just as usual. And we are almost there. We're not going to drop any fuel tanks with engines for now, because we need to land and we don't actually have any landing legs. But I thought that because Eloo has low gravity, we shall be able to land on engines without much of an issue. Oh, how was I wrong. Here we see Bill doing the low orbit signs and getting it all into the capsule. And again, ship was actually responding to controls when Bill was not directly controlling it. I have no idea how it happens. So let's grab all the data and put it back into the capsule. Alright. We are dropping our periapsis around Eloo and we are going for landing. There is a nice spot of dark land which I can see here, and I thought that logically dark means lower and it should be easier to land there. Okay, here's our first go. We are at approximately 8,000. Let's start dropping our speed. So far looking good. We managed to slow down significantly in a very short period of time, making sure that we are not crashing down at some ridiculous speed. But it looks like acceleration due to gravity is actually a bit higher than I expected. And nuclear engines are less rigid than I expected. So let's see what happens. Oops. I still have the middle one. And it's gone. Time to quick load. Number 2. Going as slow as we can. Nope. Still with a middle engine. And it's gone. Feels like engines are not welded to the fuel tanks, but just, I don't know, band-aided. Okay, let's go another one. Careful. We still have 2 engines. And they're gone. Well, one of them gone, but it's the most important one. Let's try again. Here we go. Lowering our speed as much as we can. Careful. And touchdown at less than 1 meter per second. And we lost almost all engines. But the most important one, the middle one, survived. So actually, it's all good. Because all we need to go back is 1 engine. We don't need more. Our thrust to weight ratio is perfect. And whew. It fell down, but the engine survived. So we should be able to recover. Let's try launching horizontally. Carefully thrusting forward. I lost 1 tank, but not the engine. and unfortunately it was the tank with fuel. But that's not a problem, I think. We still have all our signs, and we still have 1.5 tank of fuel, and that should be more than enough to get us home. So let's first of all get into the orbit. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. It will probably take most of the external fuel tank we have, but that's okay. And then we're going to take Bill for EVA and grab all the signs from this capsule, the goo container and the Science Junior. Also going to grab the gravioli, the temperature data and the seismic data. And we're going to circularize our orbit around 300 kilometers. Why so high? Because we need to time warp around until we get the transfer window home. And here we go. Our orbit is circularized. All we have to do now is wait for transfer window, create a maneuver node, and I already done it. So from now on it's just technical execution. Nothing fancy. Here we go. Our final course correction that will bring us close to Kerbin. Okay, not final course correction, but the final one will happen just before the Kerbin. And here we go, re-entering the atmosphere. I wish the game would have told us what kind of temperature we're experiencing, even without the actual damaging effects, but it would be nice to know what kind of heating the ship has experienced when slowing down from approximately 6 kilometers per second down to 1 kilometer per second. And we are splashing down in Kerbin Ocean, and look at that. We should have done this mission earlier, much earlier. But well, what can we do now? And it is that time in the episode where I have to say thank you all for watching. Remember to like, dislike and comment this video in the section below. My name is Darlock and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.